Yeah, we back once again with another epic video. Like, share, subscribe, Cash App in the description. Support the platform, Now, on my channel, y'all already know I've been covering it. I don't know what's going on, man, but the holiday season got everybody coming back to the African continent, trying to kick it, trying to have a good time. Man, listen, as you know, a couple of weeks ago, Meek Mill was in the African continent. He was in Ghana, met up with the president's daughter, riding dirt bikes out in the street, man, having a good time. Said that was the most love that he ever received in his life. And in fact, Meek Mill said, he put out a tweet shortly after that, days after he left Ghana. He said, man, it's time for all of us all over the world to come together, man. It's time to come together from the continent to the Caribbean, back to America. And he said he plans to go to Nigeria next, and I'm gonna do a video on that separately. But in this video, the focus is on Chance the Rapper as well as Vic Mensa, right? Chance the Rapper right now in Ghana doing amazing things, right, with his homie Vic Mensa. I believe both of these gentlemen are from Chicago. As we know, Chance the Rapper, the son of a heavily connected political family. I believe his father worked alongside Chicago Mayor Harold Washington as well as Senator Barack Obama, right? So Chance the Rapper comes from a very influential black family in America, right? So as you already know, man, listen, that's why I say all of these propaganda pieces that are put out by jokers and clowns like Tariq Nasheed that's trying to sow division and discord, I always tell you, people of influence, people who really matter, they're not listening to Tariq Nasheed, man. Black men with influence, black men with status, black men who's really out here moving around, making international moves, they're not subscribing to the ideology of Tariq Nasheed, man. And I love that this holiday season has pretty much made that crystal clear, right? Because I don't know what's going on in Ghana, but it is packed, right? The diaspora has been piling in, and man, I'm covering it. You already know I gotta show love. I gotta promote the unity. I gotta promote the love that we show each other, because man, it seems like in the media, nothing gets promoted but the negativity, right? The juicy stories, that's what pretty much drives the algorithms. But me on my channel, man, I'm gonna promote unity every chance that I get. So in this video, man, we're gonna dive right into it. Chance the Rapper, he is throwing the inaugural Black Star Line Festival in Ghana alongside Vic Mensa. Now, Vic Mensa, as we know, I believe he's actually Ghanaian, right? He's actually of Ghanaian descent. So Chance the Rapper, right, from Chicago, partnering up with one of his childhood homies, Vic Mensa, who's Ghanaian, right? That's why I say, man, you can't listen to nothing that Tariq Nasheed says when it comes to trying to sow division and discord amongst the diaspora, right? We are all one, man. We got to show love to each other. And to be honest, I think it's a generational thing, because if you look at Tariq Nasheed's fan base, even if you look at Tariq, he's like 50, 60 years old, right? And his audience is pretty much up in age, similar. But when you look at Chance the Rapper and Vic Mensa, when you look at Meek Mill, when you look at even these other people that I'm going to cover in future videos, you notice that really the unity, the love, it's really focused among the younger generation. We grew up on social media. We grew up in a global connected world, so we're not really used to the division, and we see each other as one more so than the old heads. You know, the old heads really, you know, we got to let them move out the way, right? Because they're the ones holding on to that old school division from back in the 80s and the 90s, that ignorance. They're trying to carry that into the 2020s, right? We leaving y'all behind, man. The young boys, we leaving y'all behind. We international, we global, we connected, we show love to our people, right? Now, I love what I see in terms of Chance the Rapper and Vic Mensa connecting, because number one, you got a black man from America, you got a black man of Ghanaian descent coming together, promoting that unity. And on top of that, they named the festival the Black Star Line Festival. As you already know, the Black Star Line was the ship that Marcus Garvey was going to use from back in the day, about 100 years ago, as we know, before he was, you know, sabotaged by the federal government, right? That was the ship that was going to be used to ship goods back and forth from the continent to the Caribbean, back to America, right? The things that we talk about doing today, right? That international trade, global import exports, that's what Marcus Garvey was trying to do 100 years ago, and it was named the Black Star Line, right? So to name this festival the Black Star Line, you gotta already understand the type of energy and the spirit that the young boys is coming with, man. So listen, ain't no division, ain't no disunity that's gonna be able to penetrate the vicinity, man. So let's get into it. We're gonna jump into some articles that pretty much discuss the event, right? It's happening this week. I believe it's gonna be a big concert today, January 6th on Friday. So let's jump into the article, man. Let's get into it. The first article starts out with a headline that says, Chance the Rapper tells us why and how he's bringing a festival to Ghana. The rapper details his and Vic Mensa's vision for their upcoming art and music festival, the Black Star Line, taking place in Accra, Ghana. It continues on to say, Marcus Garvey's lineage was kind of carved into the fabric of the country through this idea of global blackness, of a free Africa for Africans. All of those things came through his interconnectedness with black people from overseas. This was really inspiring to me, and it made me and Vic start having conversations every day on that first trip about how we can continue to create spaces that celebrate the different cultures, but also the unified efforts towards the liberation for black folks. And as we know, the significance of Marcus Garvey is massive because this was a black man from the Caribbean who came to North America, who was trying to connect with the African continent, right? So listen, we understand that when I taught about Marcus Garvey in schools, they wiped away his memory, they wiped away his legacy from the history books, and they act like he never existed. But the significance of Marcus Garvey, especially amongst black people worldwide, is massive and something that cannot be understated. So let's continue. Also, as y'all know, Meek Mill, he just left Ghana. He was there about a week ago, and I guess Chance the Rapper and Meek, they met up during their time over there. So man, I'm telling you, man, the diaspora is connecting, the diaspora is uniting, the diaspora is expressing love and unity, and this is what we should promote, right? Let's stop promoting the ignorance, let's stop promoting the disunity, let's stop promoting the negativity, and let's focus on the positivity. Let's focus on coming together, especially as black men, so we can come together economically, politically, culturally, on all levels, socially, and let's just build a better future, a more prosperous future for ourselves, for our women, for our children, for our families, for our descendants, everybody, man. So let's continue, man. Let's jump right back into it. The next article starts out with a headline that says, "The diaspora is uniting in Ghana for the Black Star Line Festival," right? Let's jump into this article too. It starts out by saying, after the largely successful Year of Return campaign in 2019, Ghana has become the favorite destination for black people in the diaspora and now through the arts. Chicago-based Vic Mensa and Chance the Rapper are rallying the diaspora to permanently contribute their skills and capital to the cocoa-rich West African country. When the US-based rapper Vic Mensa visited Ghana in 2020, it didn't take long for him to decide to cultivate meaningful relationships that will keep him deeply connected to his ancestry. As you know, like I said, Vic Mensa is Ghanaian, and Chance the Rapper, he's from Chicago. Now, both of these brothers were born and raised in Chicago, but Vic Mensa is of Ghanaian descent, right? So this is obviously an event that means a lot to him, and this also is an example, right, for all black men, right, of the diaspora to show that we have to come back to our countries and contribute to our homelands, right? And Vic Mensa is serving as an example. He's taking the resources, the talents, and the expertise that he's amassed in the West and coming back to contribute to his homeland, right? And not only that, he is showing that just because you want to contribute to your homeland, that does not mean that you have to be a xenophobic, tribalistic, ignorant type of character like Tariq Nasheed, right? Vic Mensa is also expressing that feeling of solidarity and love with the entire diaspora, inviting the entire diaspora to come in and show love and contribute and just kick it, man. Have a good time over the holiday season into the new year, breaking out the new year in positive energy, right? So this shows that you can put on for your country, you can put on for your people without isolating other members of the global black family, right? So shout out to Vic Mensa, shout out to Chance the Rapper, man, big love for y'all boys, man, big love, man. Let's get into it. Let's get back into the article. Leveraging his talent and influences, he birthed an idea to create a common platform that will bridge the gap between black people and artists in the diaspora with Africa. Starting the first week of January, Mensa and his old pal Chance the Rapper are hosting the inaugural Black Star Line Festival in Accra, which features a week-long series of events and panels across the capital and a climax music concert. Listen, man, this is what it's about. And especially as music artists, right? I know we don't like to admit it, but artists, entertainers, public figures, they have a lot of influence upon the youth. So if this is the example that these guys are setting for their fans to see, man, we have to salute it, right? Because listen, these rappers, they want to promote the European fashion brands, they want to promote the European vehicles, they want to promote all the jewelry and all the luxury and all the ignorance. But guess what? When they promote positivity, solidarity, unity, love, coming together, we have to promote it in the same light. We have to give it that same amount of love and promotion, right? We got to keep it fair. We got to keep it balanced, right? The next article continues on to say, in 1922, Marcus Garvey's Black Star Line was a through line from the United States to the African continent, connecting members of the diaspora through the transport of goods with the ultimate goal of transporting people back and forth one day as well before being thwarted by federal agents, particularly J. Edgar Hoover. 100 years later, the Black Star Line Festival of Pan-African Art seeks to honor Garvey's mission, linking the citizens of Africa to the descendants of Africa through music and creativity. Ideated by Chicago-bred rappers Vic Mensa and Chance the Rapper, the festival is billed as a cultural experience rooted in intercontinental collaboration, featuring a week of cultural events, fine art exhibitions, panel discussions, and nightlife events leading up to a free concert event in Accra's Black Star Square. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. And in fact, in a future video, because I want to give it its own shine, we got another article that says Vic Mensa is bringing clean water to over 200,000 Ghanaians. The Chicago-bred rapper is building wells in his Ghanaian ancestral village to help remedy the 60% of water bodies in that area that are polluted. Now, that's a topic that I got to do an individual video on by itself, right? So I don't want it to be a footnote at the end of this video. I got to come back and just focus on that alone, right? So, man, shout out to Vic Mensa, shout out to Chance the Rapper, shout out to everybody that's popping up. Listen, Dave Chappelle, I heard Kanye West is popping up to Ghana. Man, listen, shout out to everybody that's coming in and showing that feeling of solidarity, that sense of unity and love that we got to express to the world, man. I got nothing but gratitude for all of y'all that put together this event, man. And I wish I could be in Ghana right now for the front row seat to cover the event. You know, I could be, part of the media. I wish I was over there, man. I wish, man. But if it's going to be a yearly event, this is the inaugural event. This is the first year. Next year, I got to pop up, bro. I got to pull up. Next year, I'm pulling up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, now, in my opinion, I think the best way to cap off this video is with this tweet. You know what I mean? Shout out to Shay Sade. I don't know if I pronounced your name right, sweetheart, but you beautiful. I love your content. And we're going to end it with this tweet. She said, Martin Delaney worked with the Oba of Abeokuta. Marcus Garvey worked with the Prince of Dahomey. Malcolm X worked with Kwame Nkrumah and built the OAAU as the diasporic branch of the OAU. Anyone who claims that Pan-Africanism is one-sided is historically illiterate, right? And in fact, I'm going to cap it off with a picture, right? A picture of Marcus Garvey. As you can see to the right in the center, we got the Prince of Dahomey. I believe this was in the 1920s. This was in Harlem, right? So this was in Harlem, New York City, right? Marcus Garvey to the right, the Prince of Dahomey, the present-day country of Benin in the center, and I believe a gentleman by the name of George O. Mark to the left, right? So now you got a brother from the Caribbean on the right. You got a brother from the African continent in the middle. And forgive me, I don't really know the ethnic background of the gentleman to the left, George O. Mark. I don't really know if he's African American, if he's Caribbean, if he's from the African continent. Please forgive me, I don't have that information. But listen, this goes back 100 years. This was back in the 1920s. Black men been coming together, trying to put it together, man, trying to unite our people all over the globe, right? We've been trying, man. We've been trying. As we know, the forces that come against us that do not want to see us come together, as you know, they do not want to see black men from the diaspora take our expertise, take it back to our home nations, and use the resources that we've established to help contribute to nations in the Caribbean, in the African continent, right? And build up our sense of power in the world, build up our position in the world, right? The power structure does not want to see that, man. So every time these brothers come together and put it together, I'm gonna show love, man. And man, listen, if Kanye is in the African continent right now, I know y'all got a problem with Kanye, but listen, I'm gonna cover it, man. I'm gonna cover it. If it comes out that Kanye's kicking it up in Ghana, having a good time, I'm gonna cover it, bro. So I don't care what y'all say. Y'all might as well get in the comment section, get upset right now. I don't really care, bro. Yes. If Kanye is really pulling up to Ghana, really pulling up to Africa, I'm gonna cover it and I'm gonna show love to that, bro. I don't really care what y'all say, but it is what it is, man. It's your boy Nefakari Desaline back in the building. Yes, indeed. Like, share, subscribe, Cash App in the description. Support the platform. Support the platform. Peace. Love y'all.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in the ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart to be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for for that bitch. They making no hourly wage. I got business. This is an art, and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands, cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.